Hi, Des6 here. Thought I'd do a review of a SNES game called Magic Sword, which is a port of an arcade game that was released in 1991 by Capcom. The arcade game was also featured on the CPS-1 arcade board, and it was also released on a compilation for Xbox and PS2 of Capcom Classics Collection 2. And so I'll show you the game. It's a really cool hack and slash. It's side scroll. You free prisoners, and they're like, the prisoners are ninjas, priests, archers, and they help you and have their own unique abilities that will help you in your fight towards Black Orb, which is the main villain of the game. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start the footage and get through the review, so watch. Alright, here we go. Magic Sword. You know, not many people know that the SNES had a port of this game. As you can see, it was released in 1992 for the Super Nintendo. And what's cool is you don't have to start at the very beginning. You can go all the way to stage 33 and start from there. The game has 50 levels. Now, well, like I said, it's disappointing that there is no no two-player mode. But the game holds its own as a really nice hack and slash, as you can see. The sprites are good, the colors are vibrant, it looks like your typical arcade game, and in some ways, in my opinion, it looks better than the arcade game. Like in terms of color, the use of color. The sprites are good, animation's good, but the only problem with it is some animations from the arcade are missing. I don't have a way to capture arcade or PS2 footage, so I cannot show you exactly the changes between this and that version, but just enjoy the SNES version. Here's the first level boss, the Chimera. He's a pretty easy boss, straightforward pattern. I mean, I'm not trying too hard here, I'm just attacking him the best I can. You know, he has that one, he jumps into you like that, and then he shoots fireballs. In the arcade, he's a lot faster and he'll piss you off. I think they had to tone down the difficulty to make this version playable. Since you can't put in quarters in your Super Nintendo, unfortunately. Nah, if this was truly arcade perfect, then we would have had a second player mode to play along with you in your adventure. Not to say that you know, you have another person who wants to play this game, but two-player does add to the fun and hecticness of a, I know I just made that word up, but the hectic gameplay of having two players. Anyways, you beat a boss, you collect a bunch of coins that you dispel, and then you get a new sword each and every time you beat a new boss. And for some reason, this arrow is stupid. It tells you where to go just to collect the sword. I find that to be fucking retarded. Anyways, you get the falchion. You get a lot different blades. I want to say about 6 or 7 different blades. And it's pretty obvious what your last sword is. Magic sword. Excuse me, sorry. Anyways, you get your status for the end of the stage, and then you go on, continue on. Yeah, that first stage was, well, stage 1. And there's 50 stages. Trust me, this game does go by fast. I mean, you'll be hacking and slashing, as I stated before, and, you know. And it's cool how, and see, if you open the cages, like I say, there's a bunch of different classes. There's a ninja, there's a priest, there's an archer woman, which I just used prior to the ninja. There's a thief, and I believe the thief and the ninja both have the ability to see hidden treasures that flash. Now, when I recorded this footage, I don't really recall showing that ability. But, in another one, my favorite form to have as your friend is the Lizardman. Unfortunately, I wasn't unable to capture him when I made this footage, so I deeply apologize. But you have to have this ring. See, there's the thief, and he offers you some meat. That didn't sound right. I'll just pretend I didn't say that. But, oh yeah, here's another thing. See how I killed those enemies in a row? When you do that, you usually get food or some kind of magic item every time you fight. Kind of like Gradius, where you shoot the rolls of enemies and they give you a power pod. Oh yeah, and there's something else I forgot to mention. Some doors you open have traps, and enemies spew out, or sometimes Rocks will fall from the ceiling. Basically, the game pisses you off. Anyways, you put the key in the door, open it, and then you go up the floor, and then you go into the next level, and then the game continues on like that. But there are bosses that continue on. What the hell? What's wrong? Damn, what the hell's happened with my emulator there? Huh, weird. Anyways, continuing on. There's various enemies, as you can see. And another thing I'd like to mention is the game it plays the same 4 tunes over and over again, unfortunately. Like, they could come up with a better musical score. Not to say the score that they already have in place is bad. They could have just put more tunes in the game, I would think. Alright, here's the last part I'm going to show you the game. You've pretty much seen 90% of the game, how it plays like, but it's fun. And here's a boss fight that's coming up. It's you fight dragons in the game, and you all know how much I love dragons. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that item, that crystal, makes a fairy appear and gives you 3 healing items. Okay, here's a douchebag. He's a golden dragon. I'll try to defeat him as fast as possible. And once again, the arcade counterpart of this boss is actually a little bit harder. You know, but seriously, this game looks really visually impressive for an early SNES title. This is when some of us SNES game players knew that the SNES was a system of choice. Don't get me wrong, the Genesis was a great system, but the SNES pretty much stomped it flat in terms of arcade ports and a true arcade experience at the time. God bless the 90s for that reason alone. But as you can see, this is a basic boss. The only thing that pisses me off is the fire he shoots, the lightning bolt, excuse me. And you just gotta time everything. And I'm not trying too hard here. I just want to beat him just to beat him because I want to finish this review and whatnot. It's a good game. It's a nice game that you can play for about an hour and a half, depending on how good you are at video games and how fast you can go through the game entirely. Well, that's all I really have to say about Magic Sword. I'm gonna let the boss battle finish, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give you the final score of what I think of the game. Enjoy the boss fight. Well, that's pretty much it. Magic Sword, once again, here's the game cover. I know it's not very good because I have a 3.0 megapixel camera that does what it does, unfortunately. It has shitty light, that's why I gotta use a light up here just to show you anything. Well, like I said, Magic Sword is a cool game, and I think you should pick it up. The score I have to give it I do a 1 to 5 system. I used to do 1 to 10, but 1 to 10 is now, it's pretty overrated. Okay, well, the graphics I gave a 5. For SNES, absolutely wonderful. I mean, everything's good. The graphics detail everything. Sound, I have to give a 4. The sound effects are very true to the arcade game. The only problem I have with it is the same use of music throughout the game. There's like 4 or 5 different tunes, and that's it, and they repeat over and over again. Controls, I give a 4. They are responsive, but sometimes you have little issues with them. And the fun factor, I give a 5. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5 altogether. It's a great game. You should check it out. Emulate it, buy it, do whatever, but give it a shot. I think you'll like it. It's action-packed, and it has lots in it that'll keep you interested. So, and it has dragons. Come on, dragons. Anyways, this is Demonius X. I hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll check you later, and you take care of yourselves. Bye.